I'm going to be joined now by Johnny Avello, Sportsbook Director from DraftKings. You can follow him on X at DK Sportsbook. Johnny, great to catch up with you again. We were talking a little bit during the break, the three of us, and boy, I don't know what your biggest takeaway is. I'm sure one is, boy, we keep betting against Patrick Mahomes, we being the general public, you keep losing. And two, what a comeback from the Niners. What's your biggest takeaway from seeing Kansas City and San Francisco move on?
I thought both teams, they're both good teams and are both well coached, but I think they were fortunate enough to go up against two bad coaches, and that's what won games for him. I don't like Harbaugh as a coach. He has no game plan, and the other guy has no idea what he's doing as a field coach. So it's great to go against a competitor that you have your heads and shoulders above, because that's what they are. Now, in this game, now we got two guys going head-to-head that really do know what they're doing.
Yeah, the game plan certainly for Baltimore was questionable, especially from a guy who has won a Super Bowl before in John Harbaugh. So the Dan Campbell stuff didn't surprise me necessarily because, look, it's hard to change your identity and change your spots when you've been doing it the same way all season, even though probably the first time, should have tried that from 45 yards to try to make it 17. Even if you don't make it, like I was saying, the other side is more relieved rather than pumped up that they get a stop on fourth.
Doesn't make any sense.
So, John, in terms of your side of the counter, though, how did the conference championships treat you? With both underdogs do get there today and won outright.
Well, the second game was phenomenal for us because it falls exactly in the middle. We had a pretty good hazard with the Lions winning that game straight up. And by it falling in the middle, anybody that laid Detroit point spread didn't get there. Anybody that bet the Lions on the money line didn't get there. So that one worked out real well. And the first game was okay, too. We did have Chiefs money line, but we also had quite a bit of Ravens money early. So overall, it's going to turn out to be a pretty good day.
Yeah, I was one of those people, Johnny, that had tickets on Detroit money line, so not happy with the way that second half played out, that's for sure. We've already been watching the screens here at DK, and we've seen the numbers already moving. 2.5s are already gone, down to 1.5s here, 47.5 on the total here for Super Sunday. Do you expect this to keep coming in, or how much do you think we're going to be bouncing in the next 2 weeks?
No, I think the Niners are going to stick around as the favorite. It may go even back up. One thing about Kansas City is, and they may get healthy over the next 2 weeks or so, but they were, the spots where they were weak weren't exploited by the Ravens, and that's just unfortunate. And that's what I meant by poor coaching. Now, they're, come 2 weeks from now, you put him in a big game, Patrick Mahomes, he knows what to do and get the job done. But he is going against a pretty prolific offense here, and there'll be no slowing them down. So this has got the makings to be a real, real good one. Looking forward to it. We opened at the 2.5. We're down to 1.5. I could see this 49ers still hanging around as the favorite, but not as high as 3, maybe 2.5. But we have a lot of props up already, guys. We've got first touchdown score. We've got anytime score. We got the first drive of the game. What'll happen? We've got receiving props up, rushing props up. Yeah, we've got some player parlays up. Quarters are already up, along with the halves, and then some team props and some game props. And so we're already up with a bunch of stuff. So how we talked about how you have to wait till Thursday a lot of places to see them. We've already got them. So fire away.
John, I was going to ask, actually, you led me into the next question. What is the schedule, at least for the rest of the week? Obviously, you're going to be first to market with these, but, with the game result just being decided, you can't possibly be up with everything. So I assume you're going to be doing a lot of, kind of fun cross-sport props with the golf tournament that weekend. Maybe it's the Phoenix Open or with the NBA or what have you. So when can we expect those? Maybe toward later in this week?
You can expect probably the crossover ones later in the week, but as far as all the props for, each individual guy rushing and passing props and the tackles on the defensive side, you're going to see all that by tomorrow or Tuesday. So there'll be no guesswork on when that stuff's going to go up. It goes up early. And the crossover stuff, Wes, takes a little bit more time. You got to got to look at those games down the road. They're a couple of weeks from now. I got to make sure there's no injuries in those games. So those you got to be a little bit more careful with.
Johnny, yeah, we're not even an hour removed from the completion of the second game, and all of these, as we're seeing, already populating on your screens here at DraftKings. Do you anticipate, for the first time ever, a Taylor Swift prop of some sort? Will there be one, do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll do one. It probably will be how many somebody will do offshore, how many times she'll be shown during a game. That number will probably be what should be maybe 3.5, 4.5. 4.5. That sounds like a good number. So, yeah, somebody will throw that up. But I'm anticipating I'd like to put up a prop long term on what song she's going to write.
Oh.
It's going to either be about the NFL or it's going to be about Kelsey. It's going to be about one of those two things, and I don't know when it's coming, but expect it.
That's a breaking news right there.
So, John, back to the game, though, here. Now starting to see even some places in the market all the way down to 1. You don't anticipate that this is going to go to pick, though, because Kansas City, we're going to hear it for the next 2 weeks, just like we've heard it for the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes is an underdog, because I remember a couple years ago I said, I'm going to get a chance to bet Patrick Mahomes as an underdog in the Super Bowl, and I had my chance last year. He gets it done. Now you have your chance again, but at least early for me. Now, I haven't made a bet on the game, obviously, yet, since we just got it settled, but I may pass up the opportunity this time around, and, at least on first glance. But most bettors, I don't think early on, are going to do so.
Yeah, we've taken a lot of money already on this game. Of course, being in 26 states, there's a lot of early action coming in. I think the 49ers bettors have seen this line start to tumble a little bit, and they're saying, what number are we going to get to here? So they're going to hold off now to see if they can grab a point. If it does get down to that point where Kansas City does take favoritism here. So I'd do the same. If I was going to bet San Francisco, I'd want to see how low this thing could drop. But I do think San Francisco will go off the favorite in the game. But, we're a long ways away. That's still a couple weeks from now.
Johnny, was looking at it earlier in the week, too. You've already got some numbers up for the Super Bowl in 2025. Time is flying by here, where the Niners are the favorites to do that again. Are you seeing action come in on that already? Like people saying, all right, this feels like a pretty good number here, maybe for a long shot. Are you seeing anything there?
Yeah, we are, but not on the 49ers at plus 550. We've been seeing some money on the Lions were a little bit higher, a little bit on the Bengals. We saw people betting the Texans who, had a nice little run. So the Cowboys are at 20-1, Packers are at 20-1. So that's what we're seeing, a little bit of action on those teams that are a little higher price. Nobody's interested in the Niners right now at 550 because you don't even know who's going to be around next year. So it's too short of a price to be playing them.
John, in terms of the total, 47.5 out there. There are a couple 48s as well. Do you expect this just to kind of stay where it is for a little while, or do you expect early move either way on the total?
Well, I can tell, wherever the line goes, whether that's going to be 48, 48.5, 49, I know, Wes, for a fact that we're going to be loaded up on the over. When you looked at the two teams, playing in Las Vegas on a fast track, no one's going to be interested in betting the under. Not that the game can't go under. I'm just saying that the bulk of the money will certainly be on the over for this particular game. The reason it's a little bit lower as an opener, because the Chiefs just, they just haven't been scoring a lot of points. Not much today, and last week, a little better against the Bills, but they're a 24-point kind of team. That's where I would put their number, 21, 24 points. And if they're going to win with 24, well, then this not going over. So, if they win, that's the way that people are looking at it right now.
Yeah, and they gave up, 3 points today in the second half to close out that game against Baltimore. Johnny, really appreciate the time. Great stuff that you guys already have all these numbers up and all these props up at DK. So we appreciate it and can't wait to catch up again before Super Sunday.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
There he is, everybody. Johnny Avello. Give him a follow on X at DK Sportsbook.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.